This is set number 44044, Peter and the Station Wagon building set. This is a Connect set based on Family Guy, a TV show from Fox Entertainment. This is ages 8 and up, 110 pieces, released in 2013, and retails for roughly $18, I think. That's about the same. That's about that price. A little bit expensive for the pieces, but it probably has to do with the licensing for the higher price. Let's take a look at the box now. So we have your standard format for the Family Guy box. This large loop on the side to show all the set information. The Family Guy logo shown here, and it also says "As Seen on TV," which I believe they mean the show, not the set, because I haven't seen any commercials for this set. On the bottom, they have the traditional America's Building Toy sticker for the Connect set, as very custom for other Connect sets. And as you can see, I've already opened it up, but we're going to take it out in just a bit. On the back of the box, you can see the main parts that are assembled for the station wagon and how they all go together. You see Peter, how his pieces fit, and you also get to see some of the other sets from Connects, including Stewie and the Time Machine, Peter and Chris, Stewie and Lois, and Brian and Meg. These three are figure packs, roughly for $10. And this one's another $18 building set. So it's a very small series. We got a lot of information down here about rights of use, the packaging details, and logos for different companies. It also shows you Peter Griffin just sitting here, kind of a part of the box format. It also shows you how it's shown in the TV show, how we see the station wagon compared to Peter. And it also says "As Seen on TV." It kind of seems quirky for it to say "As Seen on TV," because when I think of that, I think of those infomercials, at least the ones that we get here in the United States. So, let's take all these out and see what we got. Okay, so we have a big instruction manual, just folded up. But you can unfold all of this, and you can see on the inside how the Connect's instruction manuals are made. Similar to, well, any other Connect set, you have a certain section with steps of 1 through 8, for example. That shows, you know, how much of it you're building in that part. The grayer bricks are ones you've already built, so the colored ones are ones you add on in that step. It also shows you arrows for how it's built. Lots of different pieces. It's a pretty big instruction manual. Usually they fold out to one big thing, or they're just a larger book for easier reading. As you notice in these steps, it's building multiple parts, not just one piece at a time, which is good for keeping up with the pace. You can also see on the bottom it says "Apply stickers" in different languages, so we do know that we get stickers, and for other parts of the world, they can use them. On the back of this, it shows just the kind of things we've seen on the back of the box. So nothing to explain there. And here's the full fold out of the instructions. Pretty sure that's it. And then it just flips around to the other side for when we go to those instructions. We get a small sticker sheet with, looks like 2 stickers on it. One for the front, one for the back. We get this small paper-like piece. This is for the roof of the car, and that just simply peels out so that you can use it. And then you have to punch out all these holes to put it onto the set. We got a small bag that includes Peter Griffin in here, and as you can see from the bag, you can easily just push him out. He's already pre-assembled, so we'll take a look at him in the actual set review, because this is only preliminary stuff. Here we have one of the bags, and it seems kind of odd to me. There's so much bag, but there's so few pieces. I mean, these are, you know, your micro pieces, some of your bricks, and some of your micro rods and such. I feel like they could be put into a smaller bag. And then you have this smaller bag with a bunch of larger pieces. This is a decent size for the kind of bags that you have with pieces. You know, if they had a little bit more in here, that would be okay too. Maybe even fit both of these in the same bag. They probably differed them just for like, this is the larger pieces, this is the smaller pieces. Just like with Lego, they do that in their packaging for sets as well. So we're going to build this set, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, so here we have our finished model, and before we start anything, I would just like to say, this is right, I just built this, I finished it, and then I started recording. During the building process, I wouldn't describe it as good, I wouldn't describe it as fun, I would describe it as I had a nervous time building this set. And throughout the review, if anything falls apart, or becomes askew, or looks askew, then you might understand how I was feeling while I was building this, because just looking at the directions, I was thinking, like, you know, we have pieces stacked on top of each other, or held on by, like, one half of the piece, and I feel like the building structure on this might, you know, might make me nervous as if I break something by accident. So I just want to mention that before we get on to the review. We'll take a look at the set now, starting with Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin is the main character of the show. He is the father of the Griffin family, the main characters. I don't recall. I mean, this is interesting that we get him in a suit. He does have some back printing on there on the top. He does come apart with his torso and his head. You can see there's some printing there. I don't recall him being in a suit that often, but I guess they just wanted to change up how Peter Griffin looked. Based on his, you know, his figure pack already having his main figure for him. I just want to mention also that Peter Griffin's face looks pretty cool. It's very well detailed to show his main features, and you know, give a nice expression for him, just for good for play. You also see on the back of his head it shows some licensing info, and I keep noticing his torso isn't actually that black compared to his shoes. I thought it was more of a black suit, but it's, I guess, a gray suit. That's just something interesting, I thought. We get a couple extra pieces. I'm pretty sure they're extras, because there's a lot of small rods that we get. 5 extra yellow rods. And I've looked back at the instructions just to be sure. This is, you know, these are all extras as far as I'm concerned. So here we have the station wagon. Now this station wagon, contrary to the one on the show, is not to scale with figures. This one cannot fit all 5 of the Griffin family inside of it, and it's only able to fit one, only has space for one, as well as having just the seating for one. And we'll get to showing it around. Here we have the front, then we have the side, and we have the back. No opening doors on it. Just the 2 stickers to fit on each brick on the front and back. And the main way you open this up is through the top. And as we see, we got the little railing along here, because that's similar to the station wagon in the show. And this just pops right off, so that's a good, easy way to open it. Also, I wanted to mention before we take it off completely, you have a small feature in the back where you open this up. It's kind of like a back hatch. So if you want to store extra pieces in here, you might be able to fit a figure sideways in there, but you could store extra pieces in here. That's kind of like a small play feature, also part of the design of the set. But you have to open this up from the middle, because you saw I tried to open it from the back here, and it carried the brick along with it. And I'll just fix that up and take those out. So here's the interior, and as I said, it only has enough room to fit one minifigure. So it's not... Oh boy. Here we go. I'll get into that in just a sec. It has enough room only to fit the one figure, and it does have the same piece we see in the NEX Mario sets. So in the same fashion, you take off the pants, and you fit the torso. Now one thing I've noticed, in the instructions it shows you to fit Peter Griffin in here as part of the set. It was a little difficult for me at first, to be honest, to fit him in, because you have all these pieces surrounding him, and you can only fit his hands so much in here. You can't put both hands in unless you squeeze it, because you can see it's starting to move out of place. So you will have to keep one hand up while he's driving. Maybe one that shows like he's driving if you turn the hands around like this. And then you kind of get the effect of it. They even show you in the instructions, one hand can stay on the bottom and the other hand kind of stays up top. So there is room for that. I wanted to mention about this piece in a little bit, but I think they should have redesigned this front part for those pieces. It shows you in the instructions to put this piece in an invisible spot. I'm going to... oh boy. That back part made me nervous again. I'll show you in the instructions specifically where. Right here. You're supposed to put the pieces in an invisible part. And I checked if there was actually any bricks for it, but you can't fit anything there. So you have to fit it on top of this piece first. Fit these two on top of that piece first, then push them in. However, when you push them in, as you can see, the piece can fall off. So I think it would have been better for K'NEX if they had the reverse of the directions, where instead of putting the 2x4 completely on here, you put the 1x4, then you have a little bit more structure for this, this hood piece. I'll show you what I mean. Even a little bit of pressing, there we go, there goes the other piece. I'll just take part of this off. And as you can see in the interior, you know, the space between the wheels is pretty scarce, you know, for bricks. So that's one part that first made me nervous, was the fact that there is such little space in here. Granted, they don't need all this space to be filled in, but there should be a little bit more stability for where the wheels are. Even in the back, if I pop up this wheel, you can see there's a lot of empty room. And that made me a little bit nervous, but it's a little bit more structured back there. So I'm okay with it. So what I'm saying is, on the front, you could have had this in the directions. Instead of the reverse of it. It would still have the same area covered. And you could fit this on, and it'll be held together a little bit better, but you'd still have that problem. When fitting those plate pieces together, you got a lot of plate pieces in here that you have to put on top of each other. So it really makes me nervous for building this, because a lot of those pieces will either fall apart or fall inward, like so. So I'm not really confident with the build in this set. It does hold together just a bit, but it does make me nervous when building it. So I do apologize if some parts keep falling apart. It's just how it's built. And sadly, you know, like even this bottom portion, it's okay to use, but I expected a little bit more from it. When they first showed it with these two pieces and then these two pieces, you put those together, then you put these four on top, and then it's like you're building on top of that. How is that going to hold? Because there's no middle section in here that really holds them together, except for this blue piece. That's it. So I wasn't really confident with the build in this set. It is somewhat structurally sound. It's not completely, though. So we can fit the roof back on here. We do get little mirrors on both sides, and you can see Peter Griffin inside of the car. He fits very well with the window, I guess. Now, there was actually one funny thing when I got this as a gift, and, you know, someone in my family pointed out there aren't any windows on the car. That's right. No windows, so you can fit your hands through in here on any side. So that kind of makes this back portion a little bit of a waste if it's meant to be an open compartment. Because when you consider it, you could fit your hands in here anyways. And you could throw the pieces, whatever you want to use in there. If you want to throw his pants in there or something, you could throw it in. You don't need to open this up unless this gets a little bit in the way of it. That's actually a good idea. You just throw his pants in the back, and whenever he's done driving, he'll just throw his pants back on. I don't know. So, overall, I'm not really set on this build. To be honest, I can't say it enough, but I feel like this is very fragilely built. I also wanted to point out, I forgot to mention this before, on the roof section, I mentioned before how you have to poke the holes out of it. When I poked one of the holes, I mean, most of the holes were already poked out, like this one. I'll have to take this apart again to see it. But one of these holes has a really bad, there it is. One of these holes, it really makes me nervous because it's all paper and it's like almost ready to fall out. So it still holds as a hole, but try saying that 3 times fast. It holds as a whole. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But I feel like it might rip apart if it's, you know, too much used. And, you know, just moving around pieces. If you keep taking this on and off, is it gonna fall apart? It's a good size for this set, but, you know, I'm not really set on it. I would have redesigned this in a bunch of different ways using different bricks. And I don't know the inventory of bricks that K'NEX has for this set, or for bricks in general. So, I'm not sure if there's any better way for K'NEX to build it. If I used it out of Lego bricks, I would have built it differently. Because this back part made me nervous a bit. The front part made me nervous a bit, and still makes me nervous. Just with, you know, all these little plates holding together, and you have a bunch of holes in them. I don't know if that's really set for, I mean, I get you could use them for other purposes, or whatever, but it just doesn't seem right. With all these holes in the middle of the car, it doesn't fit well. So, it's not going to be the best rated set that I have. We're going to see about the Stewie and Time Machine next. See if that's any more structurally built. And these are the two largest of the K'NEX Family Guy series sets. The only 2 that are actually building sets, and I think I can understand why. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope the next one turns out a little bit better in its build. And we'll see you next time. Alright, I'm sorry about this. I know it's kind of sloppy, and I know it's taken a long time for this review. But I wanted to end this on one final note. I forgot to mention this before, but when I was building the set, and yes, I'm taking it apart now. When I was building the set, I had a tough time with this wheel. And all of the wheels, in fact. But I started with one, and it shows you in the instructions. I'll show you here, too. In the instructions, when you put the wheels on, it kind of shows you what side to use. Now, I thought the like jagged area for the wheel was more towards one side than the other. So I put it on this way. And both sides kind of look similar from the picture. Because they both had the spikes going around it, and the hole in the center, of course. But I put it on the wrong side. So, I had a hard time with taking the wheel off from one side, and then putting it back on the other one. Then I, you know, got the rest of them figured out. So I used a Sharpie, like, pressing hard against it, because you can't use your fingers. It really sticks in there, which is good, and bad. I think it's more bad than good, in fact. Because if you wanted to use it for other things, you can't get this piece out. If you get it wrong, you're going to have a hard time of getting the wheel out of this area. And they're both plastic, as opposed to the wheel and the tire, you know, being different plastic and rubber. So that's what makes it really tight. It's good for if you want an indestructible wheel, but it's bad if you get it wrong when building the set, like I did. So even right now, I can't get this out. It's stuck in there. It's a little bit going out, but just remember, if you're going to build the set, if you're going to buy the set, put it in the right way. Just put the wheel in where the axle is, just to be sure, because I got it wrong, and I had to take off this wheel, and then I got the other ones right. But it was a little bit of a hassle. So, I'm going to break this apart, store it somewhere, maybe never look at it again. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Thanks for watching. I'm just going to keep this wheel as is, because I don't want to go through that hassle again. See you later.